everybody, this is Suki, the Brown-Eyed Stitcher. Welcome to my little corner of the Stitchy world. So today is an exciting video for me and hopefully for you too. It marks 6 months since I started floss tubing and it's been amazing. I don't have words. I just have so much emotion. I have met and talked with so many of you throughout, not just the States, but the world. It's just been amazing, the people that I have been connecting with and talking to and sharing pictures with and chatting on live streams and just so much wonderful community, and it's been amazing. It has been an amazing 6 months, and I really wanted to just kind of celebrate that today. Just to take a look back to see what's happened in the last 6 months. Particularly, obviously, with my stitching. Though there are some, I guess, pretty significant things else in my life that I've kind of been walking through as I've been preparing for this video. So, I, as usual, try to prepare very well because otherwise my brain will 100% forget what it's doing, and that would make for a very uninteresting video or a very hilarious video. Anyway, no. Let's not continue that thought. Okay, but I did prepare everything, so I've got like all my WIPs on one side and kind of a few notes here and a little bit over here. I'm just kind of a little bit here. We are all over the place, but it makes sense. So let's just get started. I will say very first is super huge shout out to my daughter, Kaylin. I've been preparing her to edit this video for about a month and a half now, and just putting it on her radar. This is what I want to do with this video, and it's going to include some new skills for her and a little bit extra time in her editing. Guys, if she did not edit my videos, they would never make it off whatever device I filmed on. Like, they would just sit there forever. Or I would only do lives. Like, there is something about my brain. I think we all have these things where there are some tasks that we just kind of have a block about. And it's not like it's a hard task, and it's not that we couldn't do it. It's just that the effort to do it, for whatever reason, is Mount Everest. It's this huge thing that then leaves us no good for anything else. Taking the videos off of here onto anything else is one of those things. So my videos would be different if she were not editing them. So I just wanted to start off with a huge thank you to my daughter. Love you, girl. To go along with that, I wasn't really going to talk about life because of how many things I have to show, but y'all, this is just going to be a long video. You know how that goes by this point if you have seen any of my other videos, and that's okay. This last weekend, my daughter and I had our annual dance recital. Our studio runs the school year, and we have one recital weekend. It's usually 2 shows. This time, very sad. We only had 1 recital instead of 2 because our area had like a day-long tornado watch and warnings, and the county that we were dancing in like closed all county facilities. So sadly, we lost out on 1 recital, but it was a fantastic week. We had professional photography, we had, dress rehearsal with all the problems dress rehearsals have, but then we had the day of, and it's always so fun. And here's my emotions. It's so fulfilling to have something that both my daughter and I love and that we share, and we are able to dance at the same studio. We're able to both perform in the recitals. You don't often find a studio that offers classes for adults and performs in the recitals as well. And so it's a blessing in my life that I found this wonderful studio, an amazing owner, and all the instructors. Kaylin loves her classes. So between the 2 of us, I was in 2 dances, she was in 3 dances, and then there was 1 additional dance that we danced in together. It's just a very sweet tradition that mothers and daughters who are all taking classes at the studio have the opportunity to participate in a dance together. And it's so sweet to have everything from like the little babies up to, the graduating seniors and everyone in between, and all the moms, like they're on stage, and it's so sweet. I loved it. Anyway, okay. Where I was going with all of that is I'm actually going to show my daughter's one piece first. A few of you have asked me about her progress, and because of dance, it has been, and a lot of things between dance and travel and all of these things, she's not worked a whole lot on it lately. She's not worked on it for a long time. So there's really no update, but in celebration of 6 months, we're going to show hers first. She has this project, No Smoking, artwork by Randall Spangler, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is so cute. She loves all the Randall Spanglers, and this one is a pretty small one with like 85,000 stitches in it. So in the first video, I'm pretty sure I showed this in the first video, she had 743 stitches done at that time. Now we're here. This is 3,137 stitches. So she has added in the last 6 months 2,767 stitches and increased her percent complete by 3.22%. So she is now at 4.08%. One of the reasons that she's not worked on this is because she actually needs my attention on this, and I didn't realize it for a while. I'm not really sure. It's somewhere over here. She made a mistake, and she decided to try to fudge it and work around it and like get back on track, but she started kind of feeling confused and overwhelmed by it. So that's an additional reason why she's not worked on this. But now that dance is over, we're gonna schedule some time for me to look at that with her and get her back on track so she can enjoy working on it again, because it really is so cute, and she is always thrilled when she works on it. She gets so excited at seeing different elements come into place, and it's very satisfying to her. So, okay, now I'm going to show you guys my WIPs. Starting from my oldest WIP to my newest WIP. So here are some, well, one number. I'm just going to give you one stat right now. 6 months ago in my first video, I had 6 WIPs. I wasn't really actively working on all of them. I mostly had just been working on my treasure hunt bookshelf and only barely had started bringing in some of those other ones again. For a long time, I was just very monogamously working on my bookshelf. But I did have 6 WIPs at the time. As you know, I've been increasing that because of my Stitch Mania plans, and now I am up to 20 WIPs. So, that's how many I'm going to be showing you today. The first one is going to be Frodo and Galadriel. This is artwork by Matt Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this I started on January 1st, 2017. No, I didn't. I have the wrong card in here. I must have switched cards. I did. That's funny. I switched cards. I started this on November 16th, 2016. Yeah, that sounds much more right. So this is 6 years old, and it's not far enough along for being 6 years old. Yeah. Okay. So, where I was 6 months ago was 8,218 stitches, which was 2.7%. Now, I am here. I also don't want to completely unravel this. Here we go. There we go. So now this is at 13,583 stitches and is at 4.47%. So in 6 months, I added 5,365 stitches, or 1.77%. I talk about this on my very first Flosstube video, how I started out 2/1 full cross, wasn't loving it, and gradually switched over to 2/1 10 stitch. And you really can't tell, but there's a kind of close-up. Even in person, I know what I'm looking at, so I can tell, but in the grand scheme of things, this is only like the tiniest corner of a quite large piece. Because I have 20 projects to show, I am definitely keeping this all in order. I'm putting everything back. But I did unzip every single bag before we started. So there is that going for me. My next oldest project is, this is upside down, there we go, Under the Sea. This was a stitch along in 2017 by Doreen Jones in connection with Lakeside Needlecraft. I started this January 1st, 2017. And in 6 months ago, I was less than 50% I think I had 5 parts done and had started part 6. Now I guess I can undo all of this, or we'll be fine. Now I am here. This is part 7 that I'm working on now. Right. Oh, well, that's not helping anybody. Right there. With these fish and the mermaid. Her tail needs to come up this way. I'm really liking that progress that I'm seeing. It's looking so good. So that is part 7 that I'm working on. This piece I won't finish this year because it is now 5 years old and I'd really like it to be done. Next up, Mystery Town by Ship's Manor. This was also a stitch along in 2017, and the only thing I did back then was all the background, all the grass and everything. And I've talked before about why this took so long for me to get back to, but now it won't, and it stitches up so fast once I actually sit down to do it. So every part has 2 options that you can stitch, and that's what stopped me for the longest time. I also have not, told you most all fabric information. Oh well, I will start now. I know Frodo is on 25 count. Under the Sea, I think, well, it's on an Ada count. I don't know. It was whatever came in the kit. And this is 16 count. I think the other one might be 16 count as well. So there you go. So this is 16 count. Every part had 2 options, and I couldn't make the choices, but now I have all the choices made on what building is going to be stitched. The only thing that we may or may not do is color conversions. This is color converted, and it says Lee's Pet Cafe. And the colors, like the purples and things, those were all chosen by my daughter. So, it was cute. I do like keeping it rolled up. That's how I stitch. So, that's what I do. This next one, I don't know if I said, that last one I started in January. There's too much different information for me to share with you. I started Mystery Town January 20th, 2017. So again, that's a chart I want done this year as well. Finished. And it won't take that long if I were to actually work on it. Next up, Father Christmas with Toys, the Max Color version. Artwork by Yvonne Gilbert and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This one I started on November 10th, 2018. So quite a long time later. This is done on 28 count, easy count, 2/110 stitch. And where was I? My information that I have written down on this is a little confusing to me. I think at the time of my first video, I had 3,761 stitches on it. That's only 1.66. Since then, I've added something like 4,000 stitches. $4,630 stitches, I think. So really, I've got stitches all over the place in here. But more recently, I started working up here in this first page. And max color, regular size, is no joke to work on. So, this chart looks crazy, but this part that's filled in is looking nice. I am currently at 8,184 stitches and 3.61%. So this went up about 2% in the last 6 months. What is nice about knowing these numbers is that I can kind of look forward to see what's feasible for me, what's not, and make sure that my goals on my pieces are based in reality and not just wishful thinking. Okay. Oh, next up, Treasure Hunt bookshelf. Even though this was the first Heaven and Earth I saw, the reason it is so, I actually started, let's finish a sentence. This was the first Heaven and Earth design I saw, but this start date is after ones like Frodo and Galadriel because I wanted to experience a different chart before diving into this one. But the other reason is that it's a restart. So my restart date is January 24th, 2019. I don't know when I initially started it. It was before Father Christmas sometime, but I wasn't happy, so I restarted it in 2019. This is the super size max color version, and in my opinion is 100% worth that effort and time, but it is also like my absolute favorite chart. Oh, there is one thing I forgot about this, so I'm gonna talk while I prepare this appropriately. Prepare this the way I meant to prepare it for today. So in my first video, I was done the very first shelf on this piece. I had 208,693 stitches done 6 months ago. That was 28.89%. And since then, I have put in an additional 76,323 stitches. This is on 28 count, tent stitch, 2 over 1. And I need you to go down just a little more. Okay, this is going to be worth it. I promise. I promise, because I realized I wanted to show the whole thing, which just requires a little finagling of my project. So this is, I added 10.57% so far. So currently there are 285,016 stitches. I'm at 39.46%. I know that this is a lot of numbers, but when I was going through to see how many I had done in the last 6 months, it was so exciting to me to see how much I had done since, 6 months ago. Okay, here we go. It's so big, y'all. Oh my gosh, I look so good. Guys, I'm trying to see it and it's making me cry. I don't ever see it this way because I keep it scrolled up. That is so amazing. I can't even get it all in. Here. Maybe I can bring this down just a little bit more. There, that's better. I'm seriously tearing up looking at this. And I'm not even looking directly at it. I'm looking at it through the screen. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what I've done in the last 6 months, is all of this part, all of that part of the shelf. What's really exciting about that is right here, this vine that comes down, this is halfway through this shelf. And that's just incredible. I'm so glad I did that. Okay. I don't want to set this down now. Can we just spend the next 30 minutes looking at this piece? Because that's amazing. And I'm totally fine just looking. Like, we can end this video now. Oh. Okay. I call that piece my masterpiece for so many reasons. I love it so much, and it is seriously worth every bit of time and effort that I have put into that piece, and will continue to put in that piece, because we're not even at 50% yet. We're not even at 40%, although I'm super close. Okay. Moving on. This is the last of my original 6 WIPs. This is Woodland Enchantress. It's a gold collection, kit by Dimensions. The artwork is by Ruth Sanderson. And where's my little paper? I was at, let's see, I had about 65 blocks done, like squares. Anyway. I know how many blocks there are in the full thing, though there are several not full 10 by 10 blocks. So that's what I'm basing these numbers off of, is just by blocks, not by stitches. So I was at 13.54%, and now I've added 20 of those blocks, and let's move that cracker, and we're here at, this is very stiff fabric, and so it is rolled up a lot. There we go. So I've added 20 blocks, and which is 4.17% of the whole thing. So now this is 85 blocks and 17.71%. I still haven't reached any part of her dress yet. And most of this is in half cross. There's some full cross, but it's mostly half cross so far. And it's looking really good. Like, that's amazing. Let's see. I started this one on January 31st, 2019. Okay. Then I didn't do a lot of stitching. And that's okay. But eventually, I was stitching more. There was a lot of life things that were major and complicated and tricky. It's all good. So, now we're moving on. We are in 2021. This is now after I started my Flosstube channel. So we're within the last 6 months. I started Queen of the Night, artwork by Josephine Wall, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. This is on 25 count, easy count, 2/1 tent stitch, and I started this on November 6th. And we are here. This is 23,026 stitches in the last 6 months, which is 14.96%. What might be really cool is, and this is a number I didn't figure out, is how many stitches in total I've done, especially on my full coverage, because I don't always keep track on the other pieces, but I do keep track on my full coverage. So those aren't numbers that's not a number I calculated though, is how many, but it definitely is over 100,000 stitches in 6 months. I know it's over that. The next one I started was Bubble Bubble Chocolate Trouble, artwork by Randall Spangler, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started this one to go along with my daughter's Randall Spangler. So this has 10,825 stitches in it. And I desperately need to take care of the edges. But here we are. This is at 2.86%. It's fairly sizable. This is 25 count, easy count, 2/1 tent stitch. Somewhere over here is halfway. That one's a fun one to work on. It feels like a very easy stitch so far because there's minimal colors going on in it. I don't know if I said when I started that. It was also in November. November 15th, 2021. This next one, I don't have a paper that says when I started it, but I obviously started it after November 15th. This is Temperature Library 2 by Christie's Corner on Etsy. And this is my year-long temperature chart that I'm super behind on. This is 18 count oatmeal Ada. And I have 2 months finished. That's it. January and February. I have a list on my computer that has the start date for this one. That's why I know that it goes right here. But this is like the one project that I don't have. I have a card. This is my range and color key, my legend, but I don't have a start date on here. So it was sometime after November 15th and before January 31st, 2022. Because that's when I started this one. This is Peaceful Garden Path by Sunset. This is done on all the kit stuff. So this is 14 count Ada. And it looks like this. I got in this whole like border and was working on the ivy stuff that's in the border. But sometimes I work in here, and I love the rose arbor. So that's what I've got going on right now. I bet you I started Temperature Bookshelf not January 1st, but probably pretty close to the year. It was probably this year. I don't know why I'm stuck on this whole, when did I start? That one. The next one I started was Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. This one I know I started on February 24th, 2022, because I did it on my birthday. And I'm doing this on 32 count Belfast linen in black. And I'm on band 2, which are the specialty stitches. It's so pretty. I love it. I love it. I'm stitching those with what's called for the Avera Soie, which is like this, and yeah, and the DMC. Next, I started on the same day, February 24th, 2022, the Neuschwanstein Castle, artwork by Robert Finale. This is stitched on a 25 count Lugana, 2/1, whatever the normal thing I stitch, 10 stitch. That's bad, y'all. And I'm not very far into this. This has only 1,876 stitches, 1.2%. I was missing a color, and now I have a color, so all of those little spaces in here, that's about to get filled in today. So if you are a Instagram friend, then you will have seen that already. Next up is this beautiful lady, Mayari, Deity of the Moon, by Bella Filipina. she is stitched on 28 count opalescent Lugana in Cosmos by Stitch Me. I started this on March 12th, 2022, and it's hard to show her everything because it's like this big long like strip down here, and does that not look like a saber? It won't when it's finished, but right now I can't get over that I can hold it like, okay, yep. This has 1,703 stitches on it. Let's see if I can show you some of this up close. There's Krennic up here. And it is sparkly, but so is the fabric. This is some of her hair, and her dress, and her sash. And that's almost the very bottom of it. So she's rather tall, because this isn't quite the top. I'm starting to curve it, and that's the top, about here. And that's almost the bottom, down here. And this is 28 count. So she's gonna be gorgeous. And I don't know why I started rolling this up instead of just folding it. Because I'm gonna have to roll that better next time I pull it out to work on. But she's pretty and I love her. Next up, this is the Summer Garden by the Drawn Thread. And where's my note card? Here it is. I started this on March 19th, 2022. This really isn't a very big piece at all. And this is 32 count Belfast linen in summer khaki. But there's where she's at now. One thing I'm not extremely sure about is right here, there is a pink, these are pink flowers, but they are hard to see. And I'm gonna leave them for a while, but I might end up going back in and stitching a slightly different pink over it. I'm not sure yet. I just don't like that I can't really see it. But this one's fun to stitch on. It's very relaxing for me to stitch on that one. Next up, Cirque de Carreau by Ink Circles. This one is getting stitched on a 32 count Belfast linen in Stormy Night. And it's being stitched with a gorgeous Silks for You PR090. And I started this on the 26th of March. I love this pairing together. It is perfect. I super love it. I have put in 940 stitches. It looks like a whole lot more than that. But that's what I wrote down. 940 stitches, And since this is in Pattern Keeper, that number would be accurate, which is 5.66%. I love that one, and I don't find working with the variegation to be stressful. I kind of just let it be organic a lot. Sorry, this needs to go. I am rather particular about how my bags need to be, though. So. Next up is Pavon for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. I started this on April 17th, 2022. And this is being stitched on a 36 count even weave by Fabric Flair. And it's hand dyed by me and stitched with another, this is another Silks for You Hank PR 150. So, in person, you can see it a lot more than I feel like you can on camera or video. But it's so pretty. I did find the whole width. So this is the right corner, this is the left corner. And I most recently was filling this part in. This was my first ever dyeing effort. There is a video on that if you have not seen it, where I show you how easy it is for a complete new person who's never dyed anything to just give it a go. Oh, that one has 1,997 stitches in it and is at 9.51%. It does feel like it stitches up fast, and like it's almost at 10%, so I guess it does. My cover sheet is getting all crinkled in here. Ooh, oh, I'm so excited to show you this one. This is Autumn Water Garden Mandala by Chatelaine. The designer is Martina Rosenberg. And I started this on April 29th, 2022. And I love it. Oh, oops. I've got my Glorianas coming out. Okay. I have put in this number. I guess this number is correct. 1,093 stitches. And yes, I'm definitely counting the 1/1s individually. That's where I'm at. Okay. Do you see these tiny little 1/1 spots? It is so little. So this is my first chatelaine. And this is on 28 count casual linen in antique white. So I started with this first inner square, and I am missing colors because I don't have all of the, it uses DMC and then some additional fancy floss things, and I only have some of the fancy flosses. So once I finished as much as I could in here without getting into the specialty stitches or the beads or the flosses I was missing, And then I moved out and found the next square and started those colors, or that stitching. So this is 1,093 stitches. And it is so pretty. Super pretty. And I don't even have the like specialty stitches. I don't have the back stitching in. I don't have the beads in. And I'm already so happy about this piece. I think the way I'm going to continue tackling that piece is to do all the cross stitches first and then go back and do the specialty stitches, the back stitching, and then do the beads, I think. But I may change my mind once I have all my threads. I might finish out the crosses in like a section like that inner square and then do the specialty stuff. But maybe still leave the beads for the very, very end. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And it's not a decision I have to make until I have all the threads. Now we're into my mania starts. So we're almost finished here. This is, there we go, December from the Calendar Girls series from Little House Needleworks. This is on 28 count linen in French Country Latte, and I got all of December done. I find the letters in this piece, this series, very fiddly. So on this piece I decided to get them done. I started that on the 3rd of May, 2022. The next one I started on the 4th of May, and it is How Great Thou Art by My Big Toe Designs. This is stitched on a 28 count linen in white chocolate. This kind of stresses me out. The fabric was cut a little wonky, and this was a product of me just ordering what 123 Stitch told me to order, and so my margin is so close. It's so close. But it's still gonna work. I have counted everything out, and it will still fit on here. The top and the bottom are what's going to feel stressful, but when it comes time to frame, I can sew on extra fabric and I will be okay. But I only got that far. That is the tiniest of the border. And this is done completely in Dye Works threads. Go in. And WIP number 20. This is September from the Calendar Girls series by Little House Needleworks. Also, it's in the same fabric as December. It's in the 28 count Country French Latte. But this one I decided to work from the top down. So everything above this point is 100% finished. Like right here and up. That's everything. That's so fun. The flower's kind of hard to tell. You can see it. And again, it's slightly easier to see in person than it is on the camera. That one I started on May 9th. Yay! Okay, 55 minutes. We made it through 20 whips. But I am not done talking yet. I'm not done talking. You already know my Stitch Mania plans if you saw my last video, Flosstube number 10. So I'm not going to cover that here, that would be too much, but by the end of May, I will have a total of 32 whips. So there's that. I'm going to go between now and the end of the month, I'm going to add in another 12 whips. 10 of which are, no, 8 of which are the rest of the Calendar Girl series. And one is another full coverage. It's going to be great. It's going to be so good. Whew. Oh, speaking of my other full coverage, I'm going to show you one of the parts I have for it. On my Stitch Mania plans video, I said I needed both the fabric and the floss still, and I was waiting on both. The floss is on its way. No. The fabric is on its way. I will have it in time. And the floss came in. This is what a giant monster cone of DMC 310 looks like. This kind of makes me super giddy. Like, I don't feel intimidated by this one bit. I love it. It just, like, I just super love it. It is, I'm trying to remember, it's like 4,000 yards, I don't know what it is. It's huge. Look at that. Look how much that is. I love it. So, my new full coverage piece for my May 31st start is, it takes like 27 skeins of black, so I just got a monster cone, and I love it. I adore it. So I have something else to show, and I don't know, maybe this solidly puts me in the crazy stitcher category, but I was watching Needleberry Stitcher's latest video, and she does a lot of mirabilias, and she does other things too, but she does a lot of mirabilias. And in her last video, she was showing some different charts, and showed one and said that she was thinking of stitching that one twice. One with everything as called for, and then one without the, like, converting the beads into DMC, and then doing a comparison to show what they look like, because the mirabilias are gorgeous as written, as charted, but they're also gorgeous without the beads. So if you find beads outside your price range or outside your comfort level, it's okay. You don't have to stitch with those. You can even skip the fancy flosses and do a conversion into DMC. Like, you can totally do that. Anyway, so she's talking about doing this. And I said, so I don't know if I'm volunteering myself for this, but that sounds like great collaboration plans with somebody. Like, you stitch one version and they stitch the other. So I volunteered myself. I 100% volunteered myself. Which is crazy because I was thinking that after May, it feels like too much to have 32 whips going. So I was going to pare it down a little bit by like finishing 2 pieces, and then I could say, here's another new start. So if I'm going to do that, I need to work on some of those calendar girls and finish 2 of them so that I can start this one in June, which is when we decided we're going to start it. And then she was so sweet. She sent me the pattern. This is Sabrina by Mirabilia. Isn't she so pretty? She sent me the pattern because I volunteered to do this with her. But she didn't stop there. She bought me fabric. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. It's like a pinky purpley color. It's showing up pretty purple, but it does have like a pink tinge to it. But it's going to be beautiful. It actually does remind me a lot of this, the Mirabilia background here. She's going to be so beautiful in this. This is 28 count linen on Picture This Plus fabric. And it's so pretty. She is so sweet. And then she didn't stop there. She went ahead and she got me the Karen water lilies that the pattern calls for. This one is Umbria. And this one is Cardinal. And these are going to be the flowers. So if you at least I assume it's the flowers and the greenery in there. I don't know that that's the only thing in there, because there are darker and lighter sections in there. So there could also be DMC colors, but I think that it would be very easy to change these into DMC if you wanted to. So all I need to get is the Krennic for this. I probably have it. It's 032. I do have that one already. So this is going to be a new start in June. But hopefully it's not going to be number 33. Hopefully I'll have something finished so that I can start this with her. Aww, so pretty. I'm so excited. So thank you. Thank you. I already told you thank you, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Apparently I'm completely willing to stitch things with other people, and yeah, I guess that's a thing I'm willing to do. Okay, I think that's everything. I really just want to end with thank you. Thank you for your kindness and your friendship and your love, your likes, subscribes, comments, like your messages, I've gotten to know so many of you, and from all over the place. It's kind of my dream to be able to travel and to know people where I'm traveling that I can connect with. And so every time someone's like, I'm in Australia, or I'm in Iceland or Norway, or even in the States, Florida or Minnesota, like wherever you guys are, I'm like, oh, now I know who to contact when I'm going to someone's country or state or something. Like Am I gonna be in your area? Can I meet up? It's just this dream I have to have this community where I can actually, like, I would love to, like, physically meet some of you. Oh, that reminds me. So I signed up for my very, very first retreat. Thank you, Alara. It is in Ohio, the first weekend in November. It's in Yellow Springs, and I can't remember the name of the retreat, so we're gonna pop it up here. And it's a small retreat, but if you're in the area, maybe you should consider coming, and we can say hi. Alara's already made me promise that Treasure Hunt Bookshelf is going to come with me. And I'm kind of hoping that by the time the beginning of November comes around, I'm going to have the second shelf completely finished, which would be amazing. And I'm just going to show it again, because I can. Can I just hold it back here while I talk? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is incredible. It is, I can't even. Oh, I know what I should show you guys. On Instagram. On Instagram, I told somebody that my daughter thought she was picture seeing, and this is a building, but what she was seeing was like a dinosaur in a wizard hat. So here's what it is. This dark triangle is the wizard hat. I don't know if she included this part in it. It doesn't really matter. Here's the wizard hat. And then here's the dinosaur face, and its long neck, and then its body. It's like cloud pictures. It's so funny. Anyway, I love it. So, here we are. Thank you all for joining me on this journey with stitching, and I look forward to the next 6 months and what it brings, and the continued friendships and new friendships and new pictures and designers, and I know I'm forgetting something. I forgot my giveaway. That's a little ridiculous. Okay, so giveaway rules are standard. Do not leave a comment that says giveaway. Don't allude to it in any way, shape, or form, because if this does not go to one of you guys, I'm going to be upset. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, because I do have so many subscribers and wonderful friends from outside the States, I wanted to do something that I could give to anybody who wins. So we're going to go with, for this one, because this is my favorite, and it's a Heaven and Earth design chart. I'm going to give away a Heaven and Earth design chart. So this is what you need to do. You need to have a wish list on their account. Your wish list could have one item in it, or it could have several items in it. My preference is more than one, because what's going to happen is whoever wins, I'm going to contact you so that I can get your email address, and then I'm going to look through your wish list, and I'm going to pick my favorite from your wish list to then give to you. Okay? So if you really only wanted me to have like one option, you could, but I hope that I have option. Because it'll be so fun to like pick. Okay, but here's how to enter. Oh, and it will be a PDF version, but it could be any heaven and earth design chart. Like you could go supersize, you can go mini, I don't really care. All right, but we're gonna do a PDF because then no matter who wins, it's very easy to get it to you. I'm so excited. Okay, in order to win, here's the dangerous part for me. In your comment, tell me which of your current WIPs you think I would love to stitch. This is so dangerous for me because I will 100% look up every single one of them. Not just the winner. And then in 2 weeks, it will be, I don't know, Flosstube video number 12. I will announce the winner, okay? And so you don't need to have any specific word. Just make sure that your comment is telling me which of your favorite WIPs you think I would stitch. And I will choose a random comment picker thingy. And if the chosen person doesn't share that information, then I'll pick again until it does. Okay? That's how it's going to be. I'm excited. I can't believe I almost forgot that. It's right here. It's on a piece of paper that I didn't look at. So I forgot. I can't believe that. I'm so glad I remembered though. I'm glad. Much love to you all. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And even if you're not, know that you're not alone and that the hard time isn't everything. It doesn't have to be everything. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, hit me up. Just do it. And don't apologize for it. I'm here for you. Much love. Goodbye.